In this video, Madam will explain about how to produce Gridnard reagent and a reaction involving Gridnard reagent. Haloalkane is used to synthesis of Gridnard reagent. Gridnard reagent is prepared in situ, so later Madam will explain about this, by the reaction of haloalkane with magnesium metal in anhydrous ether as a solvent. Anhydrous means dry ether. Okay, so for example, we have bromoethane react with magnesium in dry ether. So magnesium will be inserted in between carbon and Br. Okay, so in between carbon and Br. Okay, so in bromoethane, the nature of the carbon that attached to Br, okay, so this carbon is actually delta plus because it attached to Br. Br is highly electronegative atom, so Br is delta minus. Okay, when it reacts with magnesium in the presence of dry ether, the nature of that carbon will change. From delta plus, it will become delta minus. Why? Because in Grignard reagent, carbon will attach to metal. Metal is always electropositive. Okay, so the nature of carbon will change from delta plus to delta minus. Okay, itulah specialnya pasal Grignard reagent. Okay, sama dengan example yang kedua. So, carbon yang attached dengan Cl is this carbon. So, this carbon have one hydrogen. So, dia masih ada. So, kita hanya insertkan magnesium in between carbon and Cl. In between carbon and Cl. Okay, and then here I have cyclic compound. Okay, so it can also produce Grignard reagent. So we need to insert magnesium in between this carbon and Br. Okay, next is reaction involving Grignard reagent. Carbon-magnesium bond is polarized, making the carbon atom both nucleophilic and basic. Okay, the first one is synthesis of alkane. Hydrolysis of Grignard reagent to produce alkane. So the reagent is water, the byproduct is magnesium salt, whether it's this one or this one. Okay, so when you want to do any reaction involving Grignard reagent, you need to start with haloalkane. Okay, why? Because you need to show the production of Grignard reagent. Grignard reagent is prepared in situ. In situ ni maksudnya kita kena prepare masa nak buat eksperimen. We cannot bottle, we cannot keep Grignard reagent in a reagent bottle. Cannot. So Grignard reagent ni dia tak boleh disimpan dalam botol. Hari ni kita produce Grignard reagent, tomorrow we will use the Grignard reagent. No. If you want to do any reaction regarding Grignard reagent, you need to prepare that reagent at that time. So itu masuk in situ. Kita kena prepare dekat situ juga. Okay, sebab tu apa-apa reaction yang melibatkan Grignard reagent, kita kena start daripada haloalkane. Haloalkane react with magnesium, dry ether, produce dulu Grignard reagent. Okay, so itu masuk in situ. Okay, every time nak buat equation ataupun nak buat reaction yang melibatkan Grignard reagent, mesti start dengan haloalkane. Mesti produce dulu Grignard reagent. Okay, okay. So, kita dah tahu dah bila kita produce Grignard reagent, carbon ni akan bertukar nature dia, dia akan jadi carbon delta minus. So, reaction dalam Grignard ni, dia sama saja konsep dia. Carbon delta minus, dia akan cari benda yang plus daripada reagent dia tu. So, carbon delta plus ni, dia akan cari benda yang plus dalam water ni. So, benda yang plus dalam water adalah H+. Okay, between H plus dengan OH minus ni dia akan putus lah. So, carbon ni dia akan receive H ni. So, daripada 2 hidrogen dia akan jadi 3 hidrogen lah. Dia akan form alkane. So, the bond between carbon dengan magnesium pun akan putus. So, MgCl dia akan combine dengan OH, akan produce this one sebagai by-product. Sama juga cerita dia, carbon delta minus akan ambil H daripada water. So, dia akan putus dekat sini. MgBr akan connect dengan OH. Dia akan produce this one as byproduct. So, carbon delta minus tambah dengan H. So, dia akan dapat alkane cyclohexane. Okay, another example pun sama juga konsep dia. Okay, so dalam Gridnard reagent, konsep dia memang macam tu. Carbon delta minus, cari benda yang plus. Okay. Okay, so synthesis of alcohol. Gridnard reagent reacts with methanol, specifically methanol. So methanol is aldehyde with one carbon. So aldehyde is C double bond O with hydrogen. So met means one carbon. So another hydrogen. So dia adalah aldehyde with one carbon, methanol. In ether, followed by hydrolysis to produce primary alcohol only. It cannot produce secondary or tertiary alcohol. Okay, actually kita kena start dengan haloalkane sebenarnya. Tapi dalam nota ni kita nak berfokus macam mana daripada Gridnard dapat alkohol. Sebenarnya kita kena start daripada haloalkane. Because in order to produce Gridnard reagent, it must be prepared in situ. Okay, sama juga dengan awak nak jawab soalan yang melibatkan Gridnard reagent. Dia kena start daripada haloalkane. Okay, equation tu kena start daripada haloalkane. Okay, so Mg is plus, carbon is delta minus. Okay, so methanol O is delta minus, carbon here is delta plus. So carbon delta minus will make a bond with carbon delta plus. Okay, so dia akan join together, formation of carbon-carbon bond. So make a bond with carbon delta plus. So that carbon has 2 hydrogen atoms. Okay, so from double bond O, it becomes single bond O minus. So O minus, it will combine with MgBr. So O minus, MgBr plus. Okay, so followed by hydrolysis. So this is hydrolysis. So from O minus, MgBr. So, reaction tu akan berlaku dekat sini sahaja. Yang lain-lain tu tak berubah. So, kita boleh salin sahaja. So, yang ni kita cantikkan sikit lah. CH2 kat atas ni pun CH2 kan. So, daripada OMGBr, dia akan jadi OH after hydrolysis. Okay, so ini adalah primary alcohol. Carbon attached to OH, that carbon only attached to one carbon. So, this is the by-product. Okay, so ini kalau kita buat step by step. Okay, sebab bila kita ada perkataan followed by, kita boleh juga gunakan 1 and 2. Okay, so carbon delta minus jumpa dengan carbon delta plus. So, carbon delta minus buat bond dengan carbon delta plus. So, okay, so O minus MgCl plus, after hydrolysis, dia akan jadi OH. So, ini adalah alkohol yang form. So, this is the by-product. Okay, jadi satu benda, at your Gridnard reagent, you have 3 carbon. Here, you have 1 carbon. So, this molecule will have 4 carbon. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, that is how you check whether your answer is correct or not. Okay, so another example, carbon delta minus combined with carbon delta plus. So, O minus MgCl plus. After hydrolysis, it will become OH. So this is primary alcohol because carbon that attached to hydroxyl group, that carbon only attached to one carbon. So nak produce primary alcohol memang hanya boleh react dengan metanol sahaja. Okay. Kalau secondary alcohol, konsep reaction masih sama. Beza dia adalah dia kena react dengan aldehyde selain metanol. Ethanol boleh, propanol boleh, butanol boleh and so on. In ether followed by hydrolysis. Okay. Again, actually kita kena start daripada haloalkane. Okay, kita kena start buat equation tu daripada haloalkane. Cuma dalam nota ni kita nak spesifik nak tunjukkan macam mana daripada Gridnard dapat secondary alcohol lah. Okay, konsep dia masih sama. Carbon delta minus, Mg plus, carbon delta plus, O minus. Okay, so we will make carbon-carbon bond. So they will join together. Okay, here. 1H, CH3, OMGBr, after hydrolysis, OH. Okay, so carbon that attached to hydroxyl group, this carbon attached to two carbons. That's why this one is secondary alcohol. Okay, so another two example you can do by yourself. Same concept. Synthesis of tertiary alcohol using Gridnard reagent. So Gridnard reagent reacts with ketone in ether followed by hydrolysis to produce tertiary alcohol. Okay, so sama sebenarnya macam tadi, cuma primary alcohol react with methanol, secondary alcohol aldehyde except methanol. So for tertiary alcohol with any ketone, propanon, 2-butanon, 2-pentanon, 3-pentanon and so on. Okay, same concept. Okay, we just do quick check. Okay, so here we have 2 carbon. Here we have 3 carbon. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here we have 5 carbon. Same concept. So this one is ketone. Okay, the name will be propanon. There are 3 carbon. Ketone is C double bond O that attach in between carbon and carbon. Okay, so it can produce tertiary alcohol. Next example, do it yourself. Okay, the last one is synthesis of carboxylic acid. So now, Gridnard reagent react with carbon dioxide followed by hydrolysis to produce carboxylic acid. Okay, so the concept of the reaction will be the same. Okay, so carbon delta minus, Mg is plus. So carbon dioxide is CO2. So the carbon has 2 double bonds O. Okay, so this carbon is delta plus. So one of the oxygen is delta minus. Okay, so carbon delta plus will make a bond with carbon delta minus. Okay, and then one of the C double bond O remain unchanged. O minus MgBr plus after hydrolysis OH. Okay, so this is actually carboxylic acid. C double bond O OH. C double bond O OH. Okay, same concept, do it yourself.